Alright, chilly loudly crying face, buckle up because this one right here is wild. Let's get straight into it. When I tell you Tasha K shook the whole internet with what she said about Martell Holt and Arion Curry, I mean the streets of Huntsville have not been the same since. One video. One upload. And boom, the whole love and marriage, Huntsville world exploded. Now you know Tasha K doesn't play when she drops receipts. She sits there with that calm face and that little smirk like, y'all, I got something for you today. And baby, she had something for real this time. So picture it, folks minding their business, scrolling through their phones, and suddenly, bam, Tasha's video pops up. The title alone had everybody sitting up straight. When she started talking about Martell allegedly threatening Melody with an intimate tape, the air got sucked right out the room. You could almost hear the gasp across social media. Because let's be honest, even for Martell, that was a new low. The man already got a reputation for arrogance and ego, but this? This was cruel on another level. Fans weren't even asking for proof. The thought alone made people's stomachs turn. A man using something that private, something that personal, against the woman who helped build his name? Child, you could feel the collective disgust through the comments section. And you know what's funny? For years Martell walked around Huntsville like he was untouchable. Every time a rumor dropped, he'd laugh it off, post something slick on Instagram, or go live talking about how people were just jealous. But after Tasha's video, baby, that confidence started to crack. Folks weren't laughing with him no more, they were laughing at him. That smirk that used to charm the fans? Now it looked like pure arrogance. People started seeing through it. They were like, oh, so that's what's behind the grin, a whole mess of manipulation. The timing of it all couldn't have been worse for Martell either. Melody been out here moving in silence, keeping her head high, doing her thing. And when that story dropped, it made her look even stronger. She didn't need to say a single word. Her silence was loud enough. Chilly, she didn't clap back, she didn't post no shady quotes, nothing. And that quiet grace? Phew, it spoke volumes. The fans felt it. They said, this woman been through hell, and look how she still carries herself. That's when the whole internet started shifting sides. Melody went from being the woman dealing with drama to being the woman who conquered it. Now Arion Curry, girl. Phew. Let's talk about her for a minute. You know she been holding on to that I'm not the side chick story for years, trying to convince everybody she's not the villain. But when Tasha dropped that bomb, it didn't help Arion's image one bit. If anything, it dragged her right back into the fire. And when people started bringing up that elevator incident? Lord have mercy. That moment became a meme, a case study, and a life lesson all at once. Arion trying to act bold in front of Melody, smirking like she won something, while Martell just stood there looking awkward. But you could see it, Melody didn't need to fight. That calm energy told the whole story. You could almost hear her saying without words, "You're embarrassing yourself." And the internet agreed. They replayed that clip again and again, pointing out the desperation behind Arion's grin. After that, things started spiraling for both Martell and Arionne. Every little thing they said online got dissected like never before. Arion would post something trying to defend herself, and before she could even blink, the comments were flooded with people calling her messy, bitter, and delusional. She couldn't win for losing. The harder she tried to explain herself, the worse it got. And baby, the internet does not forget. Once people decided she was the problem, that was it. She became the face of choosing chaos over peace. Meanwhile, Martell's empire, or what was left of it, started crumbling. The whispers got louder. Folks started talking about business deals falling apart, about sponsors backing away, about production people saying, we don't know if he's worth the headache anymore. And you know when the money starts drying up, that's when reality hits. Martell always thought charm could save him. He thought he could smile his way through any situation. But that don't work when people see your true colors. He wasn't the smooth talker anymore. He became the man folks warned each other about. And Chile, when I tell you even the cast of Love and Marriage, Huntsville started feeling the pressure, phew. Fans were calling them out left and right. Why y'all not saying nothing? Y'all scared to speak up? That silence that used to protect them? Now it made them look complicit. People wanted answers. They wanted accountability. And you could feel the tension rising behind the scenes. Some cast members were like, "We need Martell gone." Others said, "He's the reason the show's still popping." But deep down, everybody knew this wasn't TV drama no more, this was real life falling apart in public. Tasha K's video didn't just start drama, it exposed patterns. She peeled back the curtain and showed what folks had been whispering for years, that Martell thrives on control. The way she laid it out, child, it wasn't even about gossip anymore, it was about exposing a toxic cycle. She talked about how Martell used manipulation like a weapon, how he would twist stories, make himself look like the victim, and then play innocent when things blew up. Fans were connecting the dots. They started saying, "Wait a minute, this explains everything we've seen on the show." And as for Melody? Baby, the glow-up was unreal. She wasn't out here screaming "I told y'all." She just kept moving, and every move looked like a win. She started showing what healing looks like, peaceful, quiet, and classy. Every picture she posted became a statement. Every little moment of joy she shared turned into a victory lap. People started saying, "Protect Melody at all costs," and they meant it. Now the wild part, when rumors started floating around about possible lawsuits, tax issues, even government eyes on Martell's business? Oh, it got messy real quick. Whether it was true or not didn't even matter. The damage was already done. Martell's reputation was dust. Every time his name popped up, people rolled their eyes. That's how bad it got. His charm gone. His fan base gone. His credibility non-existent. You couldn't convince the public to feel sorry for him even if you tried. Arionne wasn't doing herself any favors either. Every post, every rant, every attempt to prove she was different just made her look more desperate. It was like watching someone dig a deeper hole with every word. And Chile, the internet was ruthless. They turned her words into memes, twisted her clapbacks into jokes, and used her name as a punchline. It was brutal. She wanted to be seen as strong, but what came across was insecurity. People started saying, "Girl, you ain't a victim, you're a volunteer." Even the producers behind Love and Marriage Huntsville started panicking. Because let's be real, messy makes good TV, but this was beyond messy. This was scandal with a capital S. Sponsors don't want to be linked to that kind of heat. And you know how it goes, when money talks, networks listen. There were quiet meetings, serious phone calls, people asking, "How do we fix this?" But how do you fix something when the damage is already global? The craziest part though? Martell still tried to act unbothered. He'd show up in interviews smiling like nothing happened, saying he's focused on business. Boy, what business? The internet had receipts, opinions, and memes ready to go. He couldn't outrun it. People weren't seeing a businessman anymore, they were seeing a walking PR nightmare. Every time he spoke, it just reminded folks why they stopped rooting for him. And baby, when I tell you fans took this personally, they did. They said, "We invested in this man's story, we believed in his redemption arc, and look what he did with it." The betrayal felt personal. Folks who used to defend him in comment sections were now dragging him harder than anybody else. That's when you know it's over, when your own defenders flip. Now let's not forget Tasha K didn't just spill tea, she served a whole buffet. She talked about Martell bragging that he had dirt on everyone, like he was some kind of mastermind. That alone had people clutching pearls. The idea that he might have recordings, screenshots, whatever, Chile, it sounded like a soap opera. But it made people realize something deeper. Martell wasn't just messy, he was strategic with it. He knew how to keep people scared and quiet. That's how manipulation works. But when you play those kinds of games too long, karma comes collecting. And baby, it came quick. By the time people started whispering about his finances collapsing, businesses distancing themselves, and fans clowning him in the comments, it was clear Martell's fall wasn't temporary. This was permanent damage. The man went from being Huntsville's golden boy to being the walking example of what not to do. And honestly, the irony is poetic. All that ego, all that arrogance, and it was his own actions that brought him down. Meanwhile, Melody kept winning by doing the opposite. She didn't chase clout, didn't try to prove herself, didn't match their energy. She just lived her life. And the people rewarded that. They said, "This woman is the definition of grace." She turned pain into power. Her silence became her weapon. The more Martell and Arionne talked, the stronger Melody looked. Arionne, though? Phew. She thought loyalty to Martell would pay off, but baby, it backfired. Instead of being seen as ride or die, she was seen as lost and delusional. Every time she defended him, people said, "Girl, he wouldn't even do the same for you." And that's the sad truth. Martell never protected her reputation the way she tried to protect his. And once the internet turned on her, it was a wrap. By now, the story had grown bigger than reality TV. This wasn't just love and marriage Huntsville anymore. This was about ego, betrayal, and accountability. Martell thought he could play every side, but the public wasn't having it. When people decide they're done with you, that's it. No apology, no charm, no smile can fix it. And that's where he is now, trying to rebuild something that's already ashes. You know what's really wild? Watching his old interviews now feels like watching a completely different person. Back then, he was confident, smooth, acting like he had it all figured out. Now, those same clips are being replayed with captions like "This didn't age well" and "The downfall of a narcissist." It's like the internet turned his own words into weapons. You can't escape your past when it's recorded in HD. And baby, the memes, phew, they went crazy. Folks were stitching together clips, mocking his excuses, turning his arrogance into comedy. It was ruthless but, let's be real, kind of deserved. When you spend years treating people badly, you can't act shocked when the crowd stops clapping. That's what Martell learned the hard way. In the end, the message was loud and clear: don't let your ego destroy everything you built. Martell had the looks, the platform, the opportunity, but he threw it all away trying to play puppet master. And now, he's the one tangled in the strings. Meanwhile, Melody's over there glowing, healing, and minding her business like a queen. And Arionne? Still trying to figure out how she ended up in the middle of a storm she helped create. So yeah, Tasha K really did that. She didn't just spill tea, she flipped the whole table. What she said opened people's eyes, and now Martell's name will never be looked at the same again. This wasn't just a SC.